We need a negate over there. A negate, and do not use Nova yet. My negate, drop Nova, everything, drop the house. Yeah, baby! Oh, the negate bomb! Ha 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 ha! Woo! The circus rail! So I may have been a little bit excited in that intro, but I want to show you the Stamina Sorcerer in all its glory now that I've tested it. Single target, PvE, PvP, leading groups, playing solo, playing in a dungeon, it works. And it works very well. Only with a few tweaks, you can do whatever you want in Imperial City or otherwise. Okay, so what I do is a dual wield and a maul. Look at that. I call it Thor's hammer. Look at that thing. That's sick. It's Twimmer. I love it. So I'm using dual wield, obviously for the Steel Tornado spam to do massive damage, and then here for single target, speed, and self-healing. Okay, so the main bar that I like to stick on is dual wield. And what I chose is Flying Dagger as the first ability. Why? It has awesome range. It hits like a truck, low cost, it's a snare, and it also grants major brutality. I don't use it for primary major brutality, but the fact that I'm not just conflicted to melee damage makes this a must-have ability, I think, for a double melee build. Because if there's a red circle, you can still put good pressure on targets while using this. In most other of my stamina builds, I pick Blade Cloak, which is speed, damage reflect, AoE damage reduction. But in this build, I took Thundering Presence. It's the stamina morph in this update, so it gives you tons and tons of physical and spell resistance, which makes up for the 20% AoE damage, or somewhat. Also, the shock damage that you inflict for nearby allies is actually pretty impressive over time. So this buff, even though it lasts 15 seconds, in my DPS parse, I try to keep this up because it will do a lot of damage over time. It actually is like a good 4 to 5% of your damage, even in PvE. So really like this. Of course, it gives you major movement speed for 4 seconds. So you're going to have to recast it, and it does additional damage when you activate it, though I don't like to wait to activate this going into the mix. I do activate it for speed, jump in there. The extra resistance is really important. It adds up. So if your guy is not glowing like this, you're doing something wrong. So just constantly remember that glow. Also, if you're wondering why my character looks different, I got something really cool for the achievement down in, collections. Down in the final boss, beneath the sewers, you can get this really cool costume called the Soul Shriven skin. So no, I'm not a vampire, but look at my guy. It's pretty cool, huh? So that's kind of a disguise that I like to use because people think I'm a vampire when I'm not really a vampire. So you can be a vampire with this build. That's not important. We're not going to answer that question right now. The major reason that sorcerers have so much stamina, as I'm sitting almost, as my food ran out, let's go eat some food. My VR15 food. The ham hock. Look at that. 39,000. What? 39,000. Now, if you get the Undaunted Metal here, right here, increase max health, stamina, and magic, once I get 2 points into that, I'll be sitting at 40,000 stamina. And the reason why is ability you want to double bar as a Stam Sorc, bound armaments. Protect yourself with a suit of mail that gives you minor resolve, so minor physical resistance, along with the major, that's why we're pretty tanky, increasing your damage with heavy attacks by 11% and your max stamina by 8. My god, max stamina by 8? Plus I went with the race, the red guard, that gives you max stamina by 10. Also the Imperial has the same bonus, 18% more stamina. Incredible bonus. Now another piece of information here that's really valuable is increases your heavy attacks. So when you're doing damage, you want the heavy attacks to register, not light attacks. So all you have to do to make that happen is just hold it down a little bit, one more second, a split second. So that's the light attack. You hold it down just a little bit long. See, it will register as a heavy attack. Why? You want that 11% bonus, and every time you do a heavy attack. So remember, try your best to do that. Okay, good old Crit Surge. Before I had Lightning Tornado, which was my #1, probably most famous build because I got on the Battle Mage. That's where everything started for me. Deltius Gaming, getting exposed, getting Elder Scrolls Online to give me some attention. It was all from a lightning tornado, and it was centered around this build, Crit Surge. It got nerfed in the past, but now it is back. Major Brutality, so it increases their weapon damage. Now it lasts 33 seconds, which is as long as Rally. So I don't need a two-hander to have this major buff as a Stamina Sorcerer. Now let's just read this. While active, critical strikes heal you for 60% of the damage done. Wow. Wow. 60%. This thing paired up with some champion points produces such significant self-healing, you're not totally dependent on a healer. What it does do is make you more powerful the more enemies that are around you. The fewer enemies that are around you, you're less powerful. But it costs magic instead of stamina, so it's not going to be a complete drain. And it lasts 33 seconds, gives us self-healing, gives us major brutality. It is incredible. Incredible. Not to mention, guess what? Expert Mage got changed, just like I told you guys. Increased weapon and spell power by 2% for each Sorc ability slotted. So just merely having this slotted on our dual bar, along with the other Sorc abilities, 6% weapon damage. That's why when we're buff, we're almost at 4K. Let's see what we get. I think we're at over 4K. 4,200. We're almost at 40,000 stamina and 4,200 weapon damage. This is crazy. I do 20,000 steel tornadoes. Stam Sorg is real as it gets. Not to mention, you go in Fighters Guild, good old Flawless Dawnbreaker, that's 8% just having it slotted. Not to mention that this Dawnbreaker Ultimate is really powerful in Imperial City. Why? Everything's Daedra. So if you need a low cost, oh my god, I'm about to die, kill stuff, this is it. Trap Beast also got a really big bonus. I know this isn't for the video, but think about using Trap Beast. Okay, this bar, range, and we got our 2 buffs, and we just AoE spam. That's it. The biggest, nastiest AoE in the game, Steel Tornado. Read the tooltip, 4,900. Okay, so we're going to get to the gear of why I call it Toxic Tornado. We're going to get to that in a second. But really, it comes with this. Now, this tip is from Diorite. I did not invent this. Causing damage with an execute ability infects enemies with poison damage every 6 seconds. So, what did little Delta do? He got on the PTS before this launch. If you read the Steel Tornado, plus up to 100% additional damage against enemies that are wounded. This is a 100% execute. Gang, if you get the Sheer Venom set and use Steel Tornado, you have a 10% chance of doing an extra poison damage to every single target. On the PTS, the AoE damage that I was doing with this setup was cosmic. It was incredible. That's why it's a Toxic Tornado. I only have 2 pieces of it so far, so I just wanted to get this build out. You guys have been hammering me about it, so that's why I didn't get the full setup. But, once again, look at this. It gives you almost as much weapon damage as Hunting's Rage, plus causing damage with the Execute. We got way more tricks than that with this sucker. And if you want to focus on more self-healing, you're going to want to use, instead of hammers, you're going to want to use daggers, though I like the penetration with the sharpen trait. Okay. So, keep in mind that's centered around execute, 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 execute. So, what goes well with that? If we go to the two-hander bar, the first ability up, Executioner. Basically, this is a finisher, right? Against enemies with less than health. But read this. While slotted, two-hand abilities deal 18% extra damage to low health targets. Essentially, what this does is you put Executioner on your bar, it makes everything an execute, pretty much. So, when you do crit rush with a guaranteed self-heal, guess what? It procs that poison damage. It is utterly insane what I did on the PTS. I'm so close to doing it on live server. And even if you don't have that set and just use Hunting's Rage, it's still very, very powerful. This is the only pretty much guaranteed crit in the game. Notice, though, that the range is 3.5 meters 22, so you can't crit rush right on top of a target. So the reason we use Streak in this build is to streak past the target. So we're going to streak past them, not spam cast the thing, do shock damage, stun them, and then we're going to turn around and get a guaranteed crit, which is going to heal us for 60% of the damage we did. If this thing crits, you're looking at 13k or so, depending on your champion points, and 60% of that, guys, you're getting 5-6k self-heals left, right, and center. It's incredible the self-healing that this thing can do. Now, Wrecking Blow. I didn't have this on the original build, but since I do PvE with this guy now, I recommend Wrecking Blow. It's spammable, it's cheesy, it's easy, but it works. And if you're going to do PvE with this guy, really what you're going to do is get rid of Crit Rush, put another magic ability on your bar, another Sorc ability, and you simply Wrecking Blow spam. It's not that hard, but guys, I was doing 15,000 DPS single target and blood spawn. If you haven't seen, that's a lot of damage in this patch. So this Stam Sorc can do just fine single target too, just with one change. Just slop in the Sorc ability right there. Okay, and then Executioner is our finisher. Really, we're just leaving it on there to be slotted, but it's nice spammable ability. I dropped Vampire, so I was a Vampire and I was using Bats, but Sorc Negate brings back the memory of how absolute awesomely powerful this is. It's not a damage ultimate, but for Imperial City, using this in conjunction fighting other players like you see in the intro video, or using it on bosses to basically get rid of all the red circle crap that's killing your entire group is amazing. Plus, the morph I take gives you minor protection, 8% damage reduction. You can stack that with Veil of Blades, so you can get monster damage reduction plus spell penetration. I love this. If you're going to go for a single target DPS though, you're going to want to go Mage's Guild, and Ice Comet now is the best morph. Does the most damage. You can also go with Storm Atronach early on if you want to do that. And of course, Overload does scale to stamina. I don't like it. It's pretty cheesy, but if you really wanted to like do a burn, get 1,000 ultimate and take power, where is it at? Power Overload, and you can burn through anything. I mean, literally just anything, light attacking with that. I just don't like that, so that's what I did. Okay, important passes we talked about in other videos. Expert Mage. Look at it now, baby. Update 7's here, baby. Yeah! Disintegrate. This gives a chance to insta-kill people. Well, guess what? If we keep up Thundering Presence, that has a chance to zap them. Streak, that has a chance to zap them and kill them. Take that. I take all of these things. It's not that important. Really, the only thing that's important here is reduce ultimate cost. That's very, very good. Moving along, reduce stamina, magic cost, huge. And that's pretty much it for the Sorcs. We go into medium armor. These are really, really important, obviously. Windwalker is the most important early on. Ledgerman, surprisingly, you're going to want to take points in a Ledgerman and level this up. Especially if you're doing PvE, this is going to come in very, very handy for one of the videos I'm going to show you later. Fighter's Guild. Slayer and Banish the Wicked. Ultra important to get this thing leveled up. As well as Evil Hunter. If you're going to do PvE, you're going to slot this thing in. Now, it gives you Major Savagery for having it on your bar, which is weapon critical. I don't have it on my bar 100% of the time, and the reason why is I use Stam Potions. So this gives me Major Brutality, weapon critical, and stamina back. So you don't have to have it on your bar if you don't want to. So just keep that in mind. Another couple things that are really important, like I said earlier, Undaunted Metal, getting your Undaunted leveled up. I just hit VR 16 with this guy. I've been busy the whole weekend, so I haven't gone through every single dungeon and done it yet. I did Vet DSA, did a trial, some of those things to get it pumped up. Assault and Support, I haven't got Vigor yet. That's a really good, strong option for group play. Race, Redguard, Redguard, Redguard. It is amazing for stamina. It pairs very well, not only better than Imperial, I think, for this build, because of the max stamina, but stamina recovery. Sorcs inherently lack that. So this makes it better than Imperial for my specific build. Adrenaline Rush, restoring stamina whenever you do a melee attack. That's really good playing double melee. The thing you want to do with Wrecking Blow spamming though PvE, you don't want to light attack in between, only once every 8 seconds or so to build ultimate. Okay, and I forgot to mention something else that changed, which is really fantastic. If you're not like me and have a million champion points and you're struggling with stamina, use this Dark Deal Morph. Bargains with Darkness to restore health and stamina. Guys, Sorc is so powerful stamina right now. You have basically, you can trade magic for stamina, you have self-healing, you have speed, the highest mitigation for a medium armor build that I've found. You have an I win button and a negate. It's like the Imperial City beast build, gang. It's really that valuable. So let's go ahead and talk about the gear quickly. So I've already talked about it a little bit. Then we're going to go dink around and kill stuff. Okay, if you're new to Imperial City and wondering how to get your character power and performance up quickly, I recommend two things. One is your weapons. Your weapons at VR16 Legendary are far superior than master weapons of the same trait at VR14. Even a craftable set or not is very, very important. Also think about picking up the endurance, willpower, or the other set's agility as well. These go a long way to making your base power significantly more enhanced. So right here, if you look at the Necklace of Agility, this 3-piece set is fantastic. You want the robust trait, which I do not have on all pieces, but even running a 3-piece at VR16 gives you tremendous weapon damage. Look at the enchant right there. Not only does the 3-piece add you tons of weapon damage, but the enchant, the VR16 level, allows you to get so much more weapon damage. Okay, so how do you get this stuff? Basically, I'm running a 5-piece Undine's Rage, 2-piece Neranthiums, whatever the hell it's called, because now we're using Wrecking Blows, using Steel Tornadoes, using Crit Rush, I get a chance to proc this Lich Crystal that does a lot of damage. You want Infused, but I haven't farmed COH yet to get the VR16 or 15 updated helm. But this 2-piece is fantastic. I do have the shoulder of it, and you want Divines Infused as best you can. So you want Infused on the head, chest, and legs, and then you want Divines on the rest. Now, how do you get Sheer Venom? Sheer Venom comes in the prison, Imperial City prison. I have ran this dungeon so many times already and still have only got 2 pieces. So that's okay. It's going to take a lot of time to get this. But hey, new content, new things to do, new gear sets to get. Until then, though, really recommend Undine's Rage, and you can do that just by simply crafting it. So the weapons that I use is a Maul. Now, I like the Maul because it has tons and tons of penetration for the two-hander. Yes, come on, leave your jokes in the comments. But here on the maces, another massive amount of penetration, which I like fighting against other players. If you don't and you want to use pure damage or survivability, go with Precise Daggers. You'll have almost 70% crit. And especially if you use a Weapon Power Potion or with Crit Potion and have Fighter's Guild ability slot on your bar. That's going to give you a lot more self-healing, though I prefer to hit harder. So, a really cool, interesting way to play this build would be running a Khajiit with daggers focused on high crit. That would be kind of cool due to the crit surge. So there's a lot of different ways you can play this build. A lot of different gear that you can get. The agility ring sets come from these trophy vaults, and also you can get them from just doing dungeons. At the end of these Veteran 16 dungeons, if you do Crypto Hearts or any of these Spindle Clutch, Wayrest, whatever, those bosses drop them. So there's a bunch of different ways to get them. Essentially what I'm trying to say is just do content. Do the new content. You'll get plenty of the new gear. Okay, that's gear, so I'm going to go try to jump these guys. If I fail, it's not going to be in the recording. If I win, it's going to be the recording. Let's do it. So that was a 4v1. As you can see, the Stam Sorc is real. Last thing up to talk about is champion points on this guy, so let's go and talk about that. In the green tree, I have 600 now. Yes, I know, a ridiculous amount. You're going to go with your typical Warlord and or Mooncalf. I do sprinkle a little bit in Arcanist because I can trade magic for stamina anytime, so having a good amount of magic recovery is actually helpful for us as well. Over here, I do like the tumbling passive for dodge rolling and stamina cost of break free. Goes very, very good if you're PvP. Pro tip here that I learned from Lars is if you get 75 points into here and open up your gold keys, you have a lot more chance of getting a awesome monster helm. So before you turn in gold keys, think about just pumping this up, respecking, and getting treasure hunter. Pro tip. Moving on. Now, I put tons and tons of points into here. Mighty, this is what's going to come from your Steel Tornado Wrecking Blow spam. Thaumaturge is probably not the most beneficial thing to pump up, but I like the magic damage for using Streak, using my other abilities, Thundering Presence, that sort of thing. Piercing Strikes and Piercing. Now, if you wanted to do something ultra powerful for self-heals, go this, Piercing Strikes. Dump Thaumaturge, and you probably want to put more in Blade Expert, especially if you're doing weaving. That would help you out a lot. But for me, I do like Thaumaturge. I just have a tons and tons of points. So Piercing is fixed now. It does work, so think about putting points into there. But like I said, you go heavy mighty, heavy precise strikes. More crit damage you do, more self-healing you get. Speaking of self-healing, I like to go 120 here to get Unchained. So probably not everyone's going to have that many champion points. So what I recommend doing is going Quick Recovery. Increases the effectiveness of heal and receive. This increases the effectiveness of healing received. Guess what? Crit Surge. Yes, that impactful. I mean, I've gotten 11k, 12k, 16k self-heals doing a Wrecking Blow or Executioner because of this passive combined with everything else. You could even go even further. I choose the Warrior's Munda Stone, but if you wanted to do that ultra crit build, Khajiit, you could go Shadow here. Drop your weapon damage and just go full crit, full spell damage, which would be really, really cool. Okay, so we already killed some other players, so let's go and kill some NPCs and make sure this build works for that. Alright, so I'm going to buff up here. So, let's see, I'm going to look around, see what I got. Just a couple NPCs. Crit rush in. Right there, that's a 9k heal. And I'm going to light attack here. Light attack / heavy. Guess what? Getting that ultimate and getting stamina back since I'm a red guard. I blew through those guys with no problem. Now, if you're having trouble with stamina, like I said, slot dark deal. Take something away. And I have a tripod on my bar just in case I get jumped and I need resources quickly. So that wasn't that impressive. Let's see if we can't get like a bunch of dudes. Alright. So, come here. And dodge roll. I'm going to go ahead and save my tripod. Going to go ahead and use it now. Max stam. Do a light attack here to get some stamina back. This guy's begging for a Wrecking Blow into a crit rush. See that combo? 8k self-heal by doing that. The Wrecking Blow into a crit rush is very, very viable. Now let's see if I can't get this guy. I don't think this guy gets stunned, but I want to show you how to do that even further. Let's see if he can't. Alright, buff. Start off with a Flying Dagger into a crit rush. Light attack. Wrecking Blow. Yeah, he doesn't get stunned. Oh, yeah, he does. Boom! See, look at that. I love that combo. So if you're doing it to a player or an NPC, let me show you it further. What you want to do is backpedal a little bit. Oh, here comes someone. He's trying to Wrecking Blow me, so I'm going to get away. Perfect for the video. Thank you. And if you get someone who's doing the whole runaway thing, just do this. Just keep on crit rushing. And then do Steel Tornado to get him out of stealth. How dare you gank me when I'm doing a video? Okay. So, now, get here, right here, crit, light attack, Wrecking Blow, and backpedal. Now, remember, the more distance you have on that crit rush, the more damage it does. Backpedal, 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 Wrecking Blow, start right here, backpedal, boom, and Executioner. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. The more mobs you have around you, the more damage you're going to deal. And that you see that guy trying to gank me, I have tons and tons of mitigation. You're not going to kill me very easily. And if you're caught off guard, use a potion really quick. Remember, AoE is your friend. The more mobs around, the better it's going to be. So I'm sure that guy's going to try to come back and kill me. I have an ultimate up, so if I might ultimately fail here, but let's try something impressive. Come here. Come here. I'm pulling way more mobs than I should be able to kill. Let's see if we can't do it. Remember, the more mobs you hit, the more self-healing you're going to get. So I'm going to use a potion. Got tons of them here. Negate. Now I get a free I win button for a little bit. And I'm not glowing with my lightning, so I want to get that back up. And look, this is just plain solo, guys. You know I don't do solo-friendly builds. This is it. This is probably the best build I've ever created for pure fun, solo, group. It might just be the most fun build I've ever had. It's truly that fun, that entertaining, that effective. So, we're going to end it there. I thank you guys for watching. I will be doing more gear farming to get that set that's really viable. Also, I'll be updating this if anything changes in the future, moving on to the Templar, but you've seen it in action. The Stam Sorc is here to stay. PvE, PvP, group, solo. It's probably the best Imperial City build I've found. Thank you so much for watching.